Okay, welcome back to the Are You Strong show. Man, I'm jacked up. Got another Maine black bear, on the show today, and I think I've probably had five or six so far, and growing. But where do you hear the story on this young man? To me, he's young, right? And a Maine black bear, from 1998 to 2002, and his accolades are just incredible. And you're going to see why he ended up in the NFL. But Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year, Atlantic 10 co-defensive player of the year, 2002, 2001, two-time Buck Buchanan Award finalist, which is really the top defensive player in the country, which is a big award. And what's the best part of the whole thing, he's a University of Maine Hall of Fame member, which is, man, you got to be pretty damn good to get in that group. But here's his stats: 374 total tackles in his career, 57 for loss, 25 sacks, and 7 interceptions. And defensive captain of the team. It's one hell of a career. But then he moves on to the NFL, unsigned free agent with the San Diego Chargers, and I don't think this even happens anymore. But he spent 9 seasons with one team. I mean,
Yes, sir.
you see guys bouncing all over the place now. You don't see guys lasting 9 seasons in the NFL, let alone one team. But a 9-year veteran, team captain, led the Chargers in tackles in 2007 and 2008. In the playoffs, 4 consecutive seasons. One hell of a career. 503 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 8 interceptions, 8 fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries, and played in 92 regular season games. I mean, just staying healthy that long is almost impossible in the NFL. But welcome to the show, Maine Black Bear NFL member Stephen Cooper.
How we doing, sir? Good morning.
I'm glad to have you, and I know, let's let everybody know your voice is shot from screaming last night at a high school football game. You're one of the coaches there, so I know it might be a little difficult on your vocal cords today, but we're going to get into it. So before I ask you a bunch of questions, if you give a minute or two and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
And my name's Stephen Cooper. Everybody call me Coop. Born in New England, Massachusetts. Played at Wareham High School down in Cape Cod. Um, my journey from high school went to the Naval Academy Prep for 1 year, and my former head coach at Wareham High School was a Maine alumni and had a great relationship with Coach Jack Cosgrove and David Harrison. And he reached out to Coach Cosgrove and let him know about my situation at the Naval Academy. And I just wasn't happy at the time as an 18-year-old athlete. And I really truly felt like I had a better opportunity to go play somewhere else. And Coach Cosgrove and I had a lot of conversations. He told me what I had to do in order to get to the University of Maine. And I had to take some classes before I went up there, but did what I had to do in order to get to Maine and be a black bear. And it was a great experience, one of the best experiences of my life.
That's awesome. Now, who was your high school coach that played at Maine?
David Harrison.
Okay, all right. So one connection to another, right? And led you up there, which was great. So
Yes,
let
sir.
me ask you this. I mean, so Cape Cod, my brother lives in Cape Cod. He lives in Boynton Beach. I don't know if you know where that is, right?
Yeah,
And
I'm right over the other side of the bridge.
other side, okay. And playing up in Maine, in Orono, Maine, is a unique place to play, right? So can you talk about that journey? What was it like walking up on campus, Orono, Maine, in the middle of the summer? I don't know if the black flies were out or not for you then, but how was that experience walking on that campus at 18 years old or 19?
It's kind of surreal. I didn't know what to expect. From the U.S. Naval Academy, waking up at 5 o'clock every morning with a gunnery sergeant drilling you and all that stuff to get into some reality as a young man. It was an eye opener. Just that drive to Maine, just seeing all the trees the whole way, no houses. I'm like, all right, where are we going? I look like a Friday the 13th special on my way up there. But once I got to the campus, got to see the campus and just get familiar with the coaching staff and the team. Everybody welcomed me with open arms. And guys had great leaders like Bez, Jojo Oliphant, Antoine, Mickey Fine, Brandon Cara, those type of guys that took me under their wing and showed me leadership skills and showed me what Maine Black Bears were all about. So I got a big eye opener early on once I got to that first week.
Yeah, and you ripped off some pretty big names there.
Yes, those are some guys that helped mold me as a young man, as a football player, and I really truly appreciate them as teammates.
Yeah, and you're still tight with them today?
Um, we haven't talked in a while. I talked to JoJo probably within the last year, and I got to see a lot of the main guys this past year at the alumni event we had in Boston. But um, we have our little main Blackbeard WhatsApp group, so we try to stay
Yep.
close in that knit right there. But outside of that, I know everybody got their families going on. I see Brent on the Houston Texans sideline doing a security thing. I know JoJo's really successful in the Portland, Maine area, and
Yep.
everybody else is doing their thing. So as long as everybody's healthy and safe, that's all I care about.
That's
And
it.
whenever we see each other, we pick it right back up where we left off.
Yep, I'm in that WhatsApp group, and I see you guys back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on all kinds of cool stuff, which is neat. But I'm probably the oldest guy in that group. Yeah,
So taking
yeah.
care of yourself.
I'm trying, but you guys are young. I mean, I got you guys by 20 years. I mean, I was
Me
up there
too.
from 83 to 87.
I bless you. That's
You
what I'm
know,
talking
and,
about.
yep, and that was with the you remember the Ron Rogerson days and Buddy Tevens days.
I know the names.
Yep, yep. It was a long time ago. So how about the recruiting process? Just coming out of high school, Coop, the recruiting process. I know you said you were thinking about the Naval Academy. What other schools were involved? How did that process go? Was it stressful for you? Was your family involved? Were you a solo thinker in here? How did that go?
A great family decision. But for myself overall, I had a lot of Big E schools, a lot of one AA schools in the Northeast that were recruiting us. Played at a small high school in Wareham, which is Bourne's rival. But
Okay.
we had a little bit of traction. It wasn't like today's age where you have social media, you can get a lot of your tape out there and get your name out there. But the whole recruiting process was interesting. Had a few coaches come to the house and sit down with my family, my mom, my dad, my uncle, and my aunt. Had a lot of phone calls, but the issue that I was having was I was a basketball player first. I
Okay.
wasn't really a football player. The only time I played football was during football season. In our generation, you played various sports, multiple sports, and
Yeah.
we have seasons. So basketball was a lot easier to play for me. I was always into competing. Um, and I had Bryant College on one line, and I had the Naval Academy on the other line where I had to make a decision at midnight whether I was going to go basketball D2 at Bryant College or I was going to go to the U.S. Naval Academy. And my family kind of persuaded me to go the Naval Academy route just because graduating as an officer, they understood the successes you would have by leaving an academy like that with a
Yeah.
degree in being an officer right out the gate. But for me, I really truly believed. Told my mother when I was 11 years old I was going to make it pro, whether it was the NBA or the NFL. And I wanted to bet on myself, so I took the initiative. My mom said, "Hey, if this is something that you really want to do, we're going to support you." So that's when I gave the call to Coach Harris, and that I wasn't really happy at the Naval Academy, and that's where that bridge happened with Coach
Yeah.
Cosgrove and getting me up to the University of Maine.
Okay. Now, what was it with the Naval Academy that there wasn't a fit for? Anything stand out?
Being honest, there's three things: you had the military, you had football, and you had academics. So that workload, you wake up, you're doing the military stuff in the morning, then you go to class, and then you go to football, and then you have 3 hours of just study hall. Um, the academics were really rigorous. I was struggling a lot academically there with the chemistry, the physics, but I was getting by. But it just I wasn't having fun. It just
Yeah.
wasn't fun for me as an 18-year-old. And again, I was playing quarterback, wide receiver, and running back there. Never even played defense because it was an option school, and that's where I came from high school. So I was looking at my options, and it was like, how can I get to the pro? And I'm asking questions about David Robertson and all the things he did to be able to play
Yeah.
in the NBA because my dream was really to go pro, and that was it. But that's really the biggest thing that happened to me was just not having fun. It
Right.
was just
Now,
not
how
having
did you
fun.
choose between football and basketball? Like, that's a tough choice.
It was who was playing on TV. Where can I get eyes on me? And I knew the Naval Academy played on NBC in the mornings versus Army during that time. I got to go to an Army Navy game. I was so impressed by the
Yeah.
by the camaraderie of the Navy and the Army going back and forth, and just seeing the president before the game and the flag, and just that kind of it made me really really excited coming from a small town in Cape Cod
Yeah.
to be in front of 60, 70,000 people. That's something I really dreamt about doing.
Yeah. So you go from that big picture vision to Orono, Maine, where I don't know how if when that place is packed, what's it, 5,000, 6,000?
Probably roughly about that. Early in
Yeah.
the season before it gets cold.
Yeah. And so it's a different venue, different world, right? So, so how long did it take for you? Like for me, when I went up there, I was like, man, what am I doing here? Like I'm a Jersey guy, right? And you go up there and you're like you said, it's trees after trees. There's no buildings, there's no nothing. All of a sudden, boom, here's the school, and then on the campus, and you go to Orono, the town of Orono, you go to Old Town. There's really not much going on there. So as a young guy, you go up there. How long did it take for you to adapt to that environment? Was it like right overnight, real quick, or did it take a while for you to adjust?
I think it was overnight. Honestly, I wasn't really worried about what was going on around me. I was worried about what I had to do academically and athletically at the University of Maine, is trying to get on the field and trying to be as successful as possible, like I was in high school. That was my main goal.
Right. Okay. Now, were you a 4-year starter up there?
Yes, and it was ironic the way it worked. Coach Cos and the rest of the coaches didn't know whether or not I was going to play offense or defense similar at the University of Maine. They recruited me as an athlete. So I was taking reps at quarterback behind Mickey Fine, doing the scout team where we go against running quarterbacks and stuff like that. The following year, a guy by the name of Latif was playing outside linebacker and got hurt during spring ball. And that's where they kind of moved me from free safety and quarterback down to the linebacker position because he got injured. And with him getting injured, it gave me the opportunity to get to linebacker. And I got to work my relationship with Coach McGrath at the time. And he liked the way I was doing things on the linebacker side, on the defensive side of the ball, excuse me. And that's where I stuck. That's why I stuck my 2 feet for the next 4 years.
Isn't it amazing, Coop, that how like one person's downfall, like your guy who got injured, becomes your future success? And that's the name of our of that game is, it's who's next.
100%. And it's ironic you say that when you get to the NFL question. That's exactly how it happened in the NFL, also playing behind Randall Godfrey. He got hurt, split his head open versus the Jets. And then I got an opportunity to play, and I had a great game. I had 9 tackles, 2 tackles for losses, a sack. And Marty Schottenheimer started giving me more reps, and that's how I earned my stripes as a Charger also. So Chiefs injury, it was sad for him because it was a big senior heavy class, and they all worked hard throughout the whole off season. But he was a great supporter of what I was doing at linebacker. He coached me up on the sidelines the whole time. And that's what I loved about the University of Maine, the brotherhood. Like
Yeah.
seeing my buddy Jakey and now this alumni dinner. It's like you get emotional, it brings tears to your eyes.
Oh
All the
yeah.
stuff we used to do, the morning workouts, walking to class together, going out. When I'm on college campus on the weekends. Those
Yeah.
memories, those memories resonate with me a lot more than my pro memories. Having
Yeah.
all the money, being able to do all these different things, it was so real for me at the University of Maine, being with those guys, just weight
Yeah.
room, classroom, watching film, interacting with the coaches. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I can't say it enough.
Yeah. And can you talk about that for a second? You just said it in there, walking across campus. How about walking across campus for the 5 a.m. workouts in the winter? Can you talk about that?
Hey, at the end of the day, as long as you got your bundles on and
Yeah.
you got your joggers on, you're good to go. The biggest thing is you're not too far away. I think I was like 2 buildings away to
Okay.
get the building I stayed in, but it was only like a 5 minute walk, if
Yeah.
that. And when it was snowing out,
Yeah.
you got used to the weather.
Yep. Yeah. What dorm were you in your freshman year? Remember?
Cumberland.
Cumberland?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I was in
Yes, sir.
Penobscot. Remember, where Penobscot was?
Yes, yes, I know the
Uh,
name, but yes, sir.
yep. I was in there, and then I was in Hancock my sophomore year. Then we moved into York Village, which is on the other side, which is, I think, administrative buildings now. Well, those are all
Yeah,
student
I don't know if
apartments.
they're administrative business, but I remember everything you're saying, all the names. I remember all those
Oh
names.
yeah. Oh yeah. And then you got the fraternity parties going up and down the road there, right? Which
Yes, sir.
was
Fraternity row.
Yeah, which was kind of intense. So can you put your finger on any one moment in the years you were there? Hey, like this is the standout moment. Like, wow, was everything.
It had to be when our hockey teams, while I was there, were really, really, really good
Yeah.
national level teams, winning national championships. And we won a national championship. I think it was my sophomore. I think my sophomore year was JoJo's senior year, to where just the campus just came alive. You had
Yeah.
cars back to back. You had big bonfires in the middle of the grass area going to the library. I think it was, to where that bonfire got me in a little bit of trouble because a fraternity guy drove a snowmobile into the bonfire,
Oh
but
my
somebody
God.
took a picture and they see me and JoJo. It looks like the movie Outsiders. The rain's
Yeah.
coming down, wearing fatigue clothes, and we're just being college students having fun around the bonfire. We get in some trouble because we're in the picture. but that was definitely one of the most memorable times because the whole campus was just
Yeah,
going crazy after they won the
yeah,
national championship.
yeah. Now, were the Korea brothers there when you were there?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So I forget which one. I don't know. There was Paul and the other one.
Paul was first, and then Steve was there. I used to
Okay.
date their sister. She was also a field hockey player there.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's some claim to fame, huh? They got both the Hobie Baker Award. Did the brother win it? I know the first brother won. Did the second
I know the
brother win it
first brother
too?
one. I'm not sure about the second brother.
I know he
I
was
don't recall.
nominated for it. I don't remember if he won it or not, but how about that? Two brothers were nominated for the same award. And that's like the Heisman Trophy of college hockey.
Oh no, hockey team was really, really legit. The hockey coaches used to give me their recruits when they used to come to campus because they knew I used to have a little bit of fun and could win some of those guys over.
That's funny. I got a funny story. Like I don't know if you recognize the name Sean Walsh. Does that ring a bell?
I
He was
don't.
the hockey coach in 19, I think it was 1984 is when he came on. And he's the
Okay.
one who turned the program from horrible into, national recognition. And he was like 27, 28 years old. He picked me up hitchhiking one day when
Wow.
he picked me up, me and the other guy on the team were hitchhiking to go to the field house. He picks us up. He's like, "Hey, how's the hockey team?" I'm like, they stink. They're no good. We're on the football team. And he's, oh, that's a shame. Do you go to the games? Like, nah, we don't really go to the games. It's just they stink. And here we are. We were 500 at best, right? And so we pull up to the field house. He lets us off, and we get out of the car. We're walking towards those big, gigantic, heavy front doors, right? And he beeps the horn. And he's like, come here for a second. And I'm like, we go back. He goes, listen, I need you to do me a favor. Can you come to the next hockey game? I'm the new coach. My name's Sean Walsh. I'm like, oh my God. So now from that point forward, every time we saw him on campus walking around, he'd be like, hey, you coming to the games? You coming to the games? I'm like, well, how embarrassing was that? You know?
Hey, you had to go to the game moving forward after that little
Oh yeah.
hitchhiking
Like
ride.
we're coming. We're coming. And we, for my 4 years at Maine, if we were 500 for the entire time, that was good.
Yes,
But
sir.
it was probably less, but
Yeah, we had some great teams while I was there. They had a lot of kids recruited from the Northeast, from the Boston area, a lot of kids from Canada. We had a lot of great guys that came in help the program.
yeah, I mean, you guys made it to the playoffs how many times?
You talking about when I was there
Yeah.
every year?
Yeah. So I mean, it was like automatic. Right?
Yes,
For
yes.
us, it was like a miracle. If we just had a winning season, it was like
Yeah,
a
no,
miracle.
just going to the hockey games, just it was packed. We used to always get right there in front of the fiberglass, and we're going nuts with the hockey players. We
Yeah,
got along with hockey players. I know before I got there was a lot of separation between amongst a lot of the teams, but when we came there, the whole athletic
yeah,
department from baseball,
yeah,
volleyball team, hockey team, basketball team, we had great camaraderie as athletes
yeah.
at the University of Maine. So
Right.
we all supported each other in all the seasons. So it was always a good time.
Yeah. So how many conference championships did you guys have as a football team when you were there?
Two, my
Two.
last 2 years, junior and senior. Yes, sir.
So you got those nice big fat rings,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes,
know?
sir.
Yeah, yeah. And I was a tweener, and this. I don't think this has happened, but so my freshman year, right? This is a story that I tell all the time. It's annoying. Is the prior year I got in 1982, they won the Yankee Conference Championship, right? So now if I'm on as a freshman, the sophomores, the juniors, and the seniors all have rings because they won the year before. My 4 years there, we won nothing. The year after I left, they won the conference championship. So now the juniors, the sophomores, and the freshmen behind me all have rings. My
Jeez.
1 year got nothing.
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's painful. It's painful. But so while you were at Maine, who were some of the, I know you ripped off some names before. Who was like your one or two go-to influences for you that really were inspiring for you while you were there?
I know Jojo Oliphant was my number one guy. Just his toughness, the way he led, the way he played the game, the way he went about his business in the weight room, his attitude. Um, like I tell everybody, I don't follow too many people because I stand on my own 2 feet. But if I had to go to battle with anybody, just saying that cliche statement, I'll go all day long with Jojo Oliphant,
Now,
all
what
day long.
position was he?
He played defensive end in the black hole.
Okay. So he's a big guy.
Big guy, strong guy. Best thing about him was his attitude. The way he went about his business. He kind of
Yeah.
instilled that in me, where I could carry it over as a linebacker at the University of Maine and throughout my professional career.
So attitude is everything, right?
I truly feel like that in our position as linebackers and defensive guys, we know like quarterbacks have to think a lot. We know the DBs got to worry about their technique in the back
Yeah.
end. But I know that when you're playing in that front seven, you got to have a lot of grit and a lot of toughness in order to take on blocks, get off block, or hit people.
Yeah.
It's just a nasty position. So he's definitely one of those guys. Antoine, he was a teammate of JoJo's. Like I said, Brent, Mickey Fine was a great leader, great leader. He's now at Harvard, been at Harvard coaching the offense over there. Um, just him vocally talking to the team and the way he went about his business and going out there on the field. And like I said, practice also. He took me under his wing because he's from Barnstable. And he knew I was from Cape Cod, so he had a liking to me, and I was a hooper too, and he was a hooper. I used to always follow his career in high school, so being able to be around him, Mickey Fine, his name where we're from was a big name, the Fine brothers.
Yeah.
So to be able to be on that team, that I helped me grow as an athlete.
Yep. Now, was Bobby Wilder one of the coaches there when you were there or no?
Yes, sir. Coach Wilder was our offensive coordinator. Great coach, very fiery coach. I butt heads from time to time because I
Yeah.
was on defense, but
Yeah.
he brought the best out of me because he would push, push, push. Even though the offensive guys had to be, they used to get their heads knocked off because
Yeah.
of that. But hey, it made our team tough.
Yeah. Well, he and I were freshmen together, you know.
That
And
hey, nice group of dudes.
oh yeah, he was my quarterback, and I don't know if you know the name Rich Labonte. He was 2 years ahead of me, or maybe three. He was a senior when I came in, but he came back for a fifth year, and him and Bobby battled it out for a little bit, and then he ended up taking the job from him, and he went on, and had a great career for us. Even though it's unfortunate we didn't win anything, but I'll tell you, he was a leader day one walking on the campus, and now he's down at Texas Tech. I think they're ranked
Yes.
like seventh or eighth now in the country. But
Oh, good for them. It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, they're up there. They're undefeated. They might be
Yeah.
5-0 right now. But I interviewed him on here, not too long ago, and
Awesome.
he is still the same as he was in the 80s.
He had fire. He's a
Oh my
fiery
God,
coach.
fire, full of energy, and his tagline. I don't know if he did it up in when he was coaching with you guys, but it's have a day. Every time he ends a sentence, have a day.
Yes, no, he did. He did do that. He was
Yeah.
saying that when we were playing.
Yeah, have a day. All right, so you got the phone call, right? That you're in the Hall of Fame, University of Maine. I
Yes,
don't
sir.
I don't think it's only a couple. I don't even think it's a couple hundred, maybe less members in that group.
Yes,
What was
sir.
that like for you to get that phone call, to go up there, to be inducted into that very, very small group of outstanding athletes in the history of that school? What did that mean to you?
It was a great experience. I didn't get to make the event because it was during football season. My uncle went up there to represent me, but just to hear that word Hall of Fame, you're amongst a lot of great guys, great men that played at the University of Maine. I might not know every single one of them, but I know what they represent. And the biggest thing is being a great teammate. I feel like that's the main priority because at the end of the day, in order for you to have a success as an individual, you need all parties on deck.
Yeah,
Whether it's the other 10 guys that are on the field, whether it's the whole roster that you're playing with, you need everybody in order to individually have a lot of success. And I really never worried about myself individually, making plays or worried about myself. Like I said, the guys that came before me showed me how to lead and how
yeah,
to keep it together to where team success will bring individual success. So for me, getting that phone call to the Hall of Fame, it was great for myself, but great for my family. My family was very proud. My kids got to see it. And
yeah.
that's the main thing for me. All the hard work that I put in with my teammates to get that call, it meant a lot to me and my
Yeah.
family.
Now, how old are your kids now?
My oldest is 28, youngest is 17.
Okay. So what's the 28-year-old guy doing?
28-year-old, he's working for like an electric company right now. My 17-year-old, he's a junior right now, plays wide receiver and safety. And then my daughter, she works at the Marriott Hotel.
Okay. So does your son who's playing have a shot at the next level?
Yes, right now we got some offers from San Diego State, University of Pittsburgh, Colorado State, Delaware State. I mean, he's still got one more year left, so we'll see where it all plays out.
We gonna get the Maine Black Bears out there giving him an offer or what?
I don't know. They haven't came knocking, so we don't
How
know
could
yet.
they
We'll
not come
see.
knocking? How could they not come? Do they know about him? They
I
have
think
to.
I Burrito's on my social media thread, so he gets to see a lot of the highlights and stuff. So if and when they do come knocking, then we'll see how it goes from there.
How could they not? That's
Hey,
crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. At the end of the day, he's only a junior, so we'll see. I don't know how they do the recruiting process with the kids nowadays, but I know Coach Stevens does a good job up there as a head coach, and I know Mike's up there. So if it ever came to that point, for me as a parent, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I always tell people like, I'll send my son to Maine just so he understands like grit and
Yeah.
and toughness and all that stuff. It's not about the glitz and the glamour and the lights of being in a big city.
No.
If you really want to focus, Maine's a perfect place for you to be. And that's why I never left during the summers. I don't know if you guys did it when you guys were playing, but he always was washing windows to make money. But there was nothing to do during the summer because no one was there. But that's where you earned your stripes. The
Yeah.
guys that stayed up there, those are the guys that you can depend on at all times. We had a lot of guys that stayed during the summers.
Right. Yeah, our world, we all went home. We all went home in
Okay.
May and came back in August, which I think was a mistake because many of the guys, you knew when they came back if they worked out or they weren't. And you
Yeah.
saw like some guys came back. I'm like, wait a minute, it looks like you lost 40 pounds. And some guys would come back and like, holy crap, he spent his time in the gym.
Yes,
But
sir.
and I think that's what kept us from getting to that next level of success. There wasn't enough buy-in from everybody to get the job done. Now there were some guys on there like Bobby, that were just constantly buying in, constantly wanting to lead and win. But then there were some guys like I would say sometimes like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you even here? You know?
Yes.
But I would have loved if they would have kept us up there for the summer, but that wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, for us, it was a choice. It was a choice, and a lot of the guys wanted to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. Like we had a big picture. We wanted to compete, get in the playoffs, put Maine on the map. And I know for myself and Jakey and then John Gelsomino, my teammates, and Brendan Curry at the time, we were the captains during that time to where we would have those conversations as teams. Like, look, you got stuff going on at home in Jersey, New York, Mass, because most of our guys are from those areas in the Northeast and New England. Um, Go take care of your responsibilities, get your butt back up here. I
Yeah,
used to drive home every weekend just to go home and see my family and have fun with my friends or whatever it was. But then I'd
yeah.
drive right back up. It was 5 hours. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to sacrifice in order for us to be successful as a team, for me to do what I have to do individually.
Hey, 5 hours isn't too bad.
No, not at all.
No,
It was easy.
mine was 11.
That's a little bit different.
That was yeah. So if you came home, you were home.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now the NFL. Let's talk about that. When did you know um, you had that talent, that ability to get to that next level? Was it your sophomore year, junior year? Were you thinking about that? Like when did you know, hey, you know what? I'm going to play in the NFL.
It really started to click for me with my junior year when Chad Hayes was our tight end his senior year. Chad Hayes was an NFL guy also, to where started seeing NFL guys in our coach's office walking around. Then I started seeing them on the sideline. And then I forget which coach told me like these guys are really interested in you. They like your tape, and I was like, oh shoot. And when I heard that and I got to see them walking around, I'm like, okay, it's my opportunity to put my best foot forward and display what I can do on this football field and make as
Yeah.
many plays as possible to kind of drive some interest. And that was my junior year where I had a really big year. And I think it was because of Chad Hayes. He got me really excited about talking about it because he would even let me know, like, hey, these guys like you a lot. You got to keep doing what you're doing. So he kept me inspired as a junior, really working hard and doing what I had to do to get those NFL likes.
Right. Now, did you feel, because I know you didn't get drafted, which is just, it just goes to show that the NFL is not always right. Right.
Well, I wouldn't say the NFL is not right. I made bad decisions as a 19, 20-year old. I don't know if you know about it. A month before the draft, I got caught with steroids. I'm going home, and it wasn't that I consumed them. It was, and honestly, at that time, I was thinking about using them going into the draft, to where I was on the front page of USA Today. I had an HBO special, and I was all over the bottom line of ESPN. So it was my own decisions that got me in that situation where all the agents that were calling me, they stopped calling me. I had two agents that called me that believed in me, and one of them was Chad Hayes' agent, Buddy Baker, that stuck by my side. And he was like, all I told him was this: I said, get me in the camp, and I'll take care of the rest. That's all I care about. So because of a bad decision as a young man, it kind of hindered me from getting drafted. But I think it was the best situation because I got to choose where I wanted to play, and that's when Junior
Right.
Seau left San Diego. So I
Yep.
was like, okay, I'll have a better opportunity. There was just Donnie Edwards at the time at linebacker. So when I came over here, I had a better opportunity to get on the field.
But so with that in today's world, because that was a while back, right?
Yes, sir.
In today's world, with the way the NFL is today, would that hinder somebody in today's world, or would they overlook that as we'll draft them anyway?
Honestly, I don't even think they would draft him. I don't think they would draft him and or even bring him in. Why? Because you're an investment. At
Yeah,
the end of the day, if you're a liability and I'm investing millions and millions of dollars into you,
yeah,
I can't trust you because of the because of your decision making. Even though you're a young kid, all depend on your interview process and the conversations you have with the higher ups at each
yeah.
organization. They can make a decision then, but think about it. If I'm investing in an individual, I want to have somebody I can trust. So at the end of the day, it all depends on severity of whatever the individuals are doing and
Okay.
whether or not the ownership wants that individual.
So the Chargers put their belief in you, right?
Yes,
How
sir.
did that conversation go? If they knew what you said you did, they knew about that. How was the
Yes.
conversation when they were going to get ready to sign you? Hey, we're going to bring in.
Well, I got interest from all 32 teams. Everybody called me as a free agent, wanted to sign me. I had a lot more money from other teams, but San Diego, I had a good relationship with the linebacker coach, Greg Minuski. He played at 1AA at Colgate. He had the same type of background I had. He got in trouble early on going into the NFL, and he played, I think, 11 years under Marty Schottenheimer. And
Okay.
just having those conversations with him up to that day on the day of the draft, felt really comfortable with him. And San Diego was the number 4 team on my list of best place to go, where New England was number 1. And I was like, I can't stay home. If I stay home, I have my family, my friends. There's gonna be too many distractions. So I said, I'm gonna go all the way across the country to sunny San Diego and hopefully get a job there.
And the rest is history.
Yes, sir.
So okay, you got high school to college, college to NFL. Which was the biggest leap, the biggest challenge, the biggest difference?
It was definitely college of the pros. Reason why speed. It was you have guys that are sit. I was playing Sam linebacker when I came in the 4-3 defense. So I had to go up again. And Marty Schottenheimer, he's known for running the ball, 21 personnel, power scheme, guard pull. So I had to take on a 380-pound, 6'6" Samoan from Nebraska every day in practice. So I was getting beat up. And these guys could move. So to see guys like LT that you couldn't touch us getting through holes and seeing David Boston at 6'3", 260 pounds, 4% body fat, and flying around. Honestly, after the first practice, I called one of my close friends. I said, this is ridiculous. It's so fast. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But then I started adapting as the days went on. It's just that first day was kind of like shell shock because
Yeah.
once I walked in the door, I tried to be the first one there, but David Boston beat me. And I looked at his locker name, and I said, how is a wide receiver this big? He was literally 260 pounds at 6'3" as a wide receiver. So I was like, what's everybody else going to look like?
Right. Now, how big were you when you entered the NFL, and how much bigger did you get?
I was about, when I got to the NFL, I was about 325, played anywhere between 225 and about 245.
Okay. Now, is that considered a big size for a linebacker in the NFL, or is that a good size?
I think that's a good size. When I played, you had guys like London Fletcher, Takeo Spikes. They were around a little bit shorter and or my size. Nowadays, you see guys getting longer, more
Yeah.
length. So I feel like just the era of football is changing and the speed. So like I know when I played, it was roughly about you're roughly anywhere from 5'10", even 5'9", up to probably about 6'1", 6'2" for a middle linebacker position during that time.
I tell you, you're ripping off some big names. These are all guys that you played with, and it's like it's amazing that, you know, the experience you must have gotten up there had to be incredible.
It was. A lot. Well, the people that know me know, but I was roommate from Antonio Gate my first 2 years as players.
Yep.
So to see him going to the Hall of Fame this past year and just to see his grind, and I tell everybody, there's only two people that ever wowed me. So where it was Antonio Gates, because I never knew about him. He's a basketball player, and the way he just translated basketball to football
Yeah.
was just amazing. And then seeing Sean Merriman come on the scene, it was like you never seen nothing like it. It was like a Hulk Hogan type character
Yeah.
that was on the field at all times, where he was just killing people. Like the one hit on Priest Holmes that ended Priest Holmes' career, I literally thought the man killed that man on the football field, the way it looked and the way he hit him. But I got to play with some great greats. There was one team we had 14 Pro Bowlers. Center, guard, tackle, tight end was all Pro Bowlers. Wide
Yeah.
receiver, Vincent Jackson, Lorenzo Neal at fullback, LT at running back, Darren Sproles at kick returner, um, Antonio Cromartie, Sean Merriman, Jamal Williams, both our kickers, field goal kicker and punter. I played with some great guys, some great teams, but we had some
And
great
your
coaches just like
QB
we
was
did at
pretty
Maine.
good. Your QB was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, I had Breeze and I had Phillip.
Oh, you had Breeze too? Okay.
Yes, sir. For 3 years, I had Breeze.
Jesus, man. It's like your entire team's Hall of Fame people.
Yeah, I got to be around some great guys from
Yeah.
college to pros.
Yeah. So what was it like for Antonio and you to be roommates? Was that fun?
It's funny about this. It was great, but at the same time, it came down to three guys to get two spots. And me and Gates being in the hotel together, the phone's ringing. And I'm like, I'm not picking it up. He's like, I ain't picking it up. One of us got to go because the third guy his name was Jordan Kramer. His dad played for Vince Lombardi. So we were like, he's going to make the team. His dad played for the
Yeah.
Packers, Lombardi, blah, blah, blah. And he was one of the fastest linebackers that came out of the draft too. But once we got that call to make the team, oh my goodness, me and Gates was going so crazy in our room, but we couldn't be too loud because the other guys that got cut in the other rooms on our
Yeah.
floor. So it was like we had to be respectful, but at the same time, we were so happy for one another to make a team because he was a free agent also. He went to Kent State, played basketball, and had a
Yeah.
great college career there. But that was one of the most memorable parts with me and Gates. He even brought that up in his Hall of Fame speech. And gave me a little shout out during that time.
Yeah. I watched that. Yeah, that was good. That's what made me reach
So,
out to you. You
oh,
know,
awesome.
when I saw, like, wait a minute, didn't he play? And then I did all my homework. I'm like, God, right? Which was cool. But he's another guy who, like you said, a basketball guy who turned NFL with no football background, right?
My class that came in for the Chargers, AJ Smith, our general manager, Marty Schottenheimer did a great job of getting a lot of free agents. So I had the Miles Good. My class was a free agent, went to the Pro Bowl. Antonio Gates, free agent, went to the Pro Bowl. Chris Dillman from Indiana came in as a D lineman. They moved him to guard. He's an All Pro Charger Hall of Famer. Went to the Pro Bowl. We had Jacques Lazare. Our free agent class was probably one of the best free agent class ever that came in because every single guy that came in, we all ended up getting on the field and starting for the program. And we had a lot of success winning. In my 9 years, we won the AFC West, I think 6 out of the 9 years. And we had some great teams that couldn't get over the hump to get to the Super Bowl. But we had a lot of guys that have blue collar mentalities.
Yeah. Now, how many one double A guys did make it with you? Not many, right?
Jacques is there, one double A. Phil Bogle, one double A.
But you can count them on one hand in 9 years.
Yes. Oh, no, for sure. When I was playing, for sure.
Yeah, which says a lot about you, and your background, and not many guys from our level make it to the level you succeeded at.
Like I said before, I had a lot of help. I never say I.
Yeah,
I don't do that in a team sport. Working with a group, you need everybody. I need my nose tackle to hold up the double team. I need
yeah,
my backside linebacker to spill the ball, carry it back to me. I need the DNs to set the edge. I need my safety down in the box.
yeah,
There's so many moving factors that bring individual success to football players that people really don't understand. And I
yeah,
think you can understand being a football player. But the things I
yeah,
just said, if I didn't have guys in front of me like DeVito or Dennis Dotton, I wouldn't have been
Yeah.
successful,
Yeah.
and or our defense wouldn't have been successful. But one thing I'm really really have a lot of pride about and happy about is our defense was always top 5 in the country. That was always our goals. Every Monday, I would go into study hall with Arthur Hightower and the rest of the boys, and I'm looking up stats and I'm looking up, all right, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to get better here, we got to do this, we got to be the #1 rush defense. We had a lot of goals from coaches down to players that we all wanted to achieve, and we achieved a lot of them because
Yeah.
everybody was on board, whether it was the summer workouts, the morning workouts, during season, taking care of each other, and just playing high level football.
Yeah. So who are all the coaches you've had in your life? I mean, you've had tons of them, right? And give me one or two that really stand out that made a difference in your life.
#1 is my 10-year-old youth coach, Coach Mike Mullen. Still talk to him to this day. Um, just took us for a ride that I'll never forget. Also, as a 10-year-old, to be 46 right now and to look back 36 years ago, just the memories that we had, the type of practices we had, the teams that we had so much fun. But just those little coach talks to players before the games, after practices, kind of had my wheels turning in my mind on like he instilled belief in me that you could do more than this little town. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. And he instilled that in us. And then Coach David Harrison, my high school coach, he was a great coach. He cared about us as kids more than just about football. I still talk to him till this day. And Coach Cos, for him to put up with the stuff that I put him through during my 4.5 years there, he was one of my biggest fans. When I got injured, making sure I had everything I need to get back on the field. If and when I was struggling in school, how to get back on track. Um, just giving me a lot of responsibilities to help me grow into being a young man at the college level. And I feel like a lot of these coaches nowadays aren't building young men anymore. It's more about making money.
Yeah.
To where I'm fortunate enough to say I had some great coaches that help me become who I am today.
Yeah. Well, Coop, I think you're 100% right. The coaches aren't developing players anymore into men. But I think part of the challenge is the transfer portal. They don't have enough time to do it. And now they have to switch their focus. Like, do we even care about that anymore? Because these kids might not be here long enough to do it. What's your thoughts on the whole transfer portal thing?
The transfer portal, I feel like it's just big business. It's like
Yeah.
trading. Um, who can who can who can generate as much value as possible for themselves to go get a big bag. Um, I don't like it. Well, I have mixed feelings because I feel like the kids should be getting paid with the amount of money the
Yeah.
colleges are getting,
Sure.
but I feel like there should be some type of cap or some type. I just feel like the language needs to be a little bit different because at the end of the day, these kids, do they understand how to deal with money? Do they have financial literacy? Like you're giving a
No.
kid $1 million, are they coming from a household where the parents are teaching them the right way, or are they going out buying these fast cars and being reckless? Are they spending money on jewelry and stuff? And the reason why I say that is because I lived that when I got to the NFL and not knowing what the value of money is early on in my career until the tail end of my career. So the transfer portal to me, it is what it is.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just adapting to it because I have a 17-year-old that's getting ready to go to college, and I'm looking at coaches like Pittsburgh coach. He's been there for 10 years. I want a long tenured coach there that's
Yeah.
old school, that's going to help raise my child. Not just, yes, we want him to be successful on the football field, but when you leave my household, I got to make sure you're still good. Yes, you're a young man, but you're still a kid. You don't
Yeah.
know anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure, like, for myself, with this transfer portal going on, I want a long tenured coach for my son. At the same time, somebody that believes in family, faith, and football.
That's awesome. So that's got to be so much fun for you right now with your son, the whole recruiting process, the next level, watching him, coaching him. What do you tell him about you and your career growing up that one he should do and follow, and one he shouldn't do and follow?
I don't really tell him too much about me. And let him know I'm like, look, just look it up. Go on YouTube, go on our internet. You can see what I do. But most of the time, when he goes to my little alumni Charger events, or I do events here in San Diego, there's Charger fans. You got the
Yeah.
people that are like, man, your dad. I would rather have somebody else tell him because he looks
Yeah.
at me like, yeah, 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 whatever. But when somebody tells him something, I can look at him like, I don't know what else to tell you. I've done it,
Yeah.
but
Like
I don't force
you
them to
didn't
do
plant
anything.
that. You didn't tell them to do it. They just did it. They just,
100%.
yeah.
You're gonna want it. You're gonna want to play football.
Yeah.
You gotta. It's a hard sport. It's a hard sport. You're getting beat up nonstop. So for him, it's not about me forcing him. I want it to come from within. I want him to be passionate about it. I want him to love it. Like I love football. Like I don't, whether I'm coaching with people and they don't do their job, I hold them accountable. At the end of the day, don't beat these kids out of an experience and don't disrespect the sport.
Yeah.
This sport's been here for a long time and it's done a lot for me. So whether it's watching film, putting kids in the right situation, putting in a lot of time, I respect the sport that much to where I'm gonna give it everything I got and leave no stones unturned. And I'm gonna be prepared for whether it's Friday night, Saturday, Sundays, whether it's I'm coaching or playing, we're ready to go.
Some serious insight. Right. So 9 years NFL. Let's just break this down for a second. Most guys don't last more than three, right? Typically. Um, and then 9 years, one team. That's almost doesn't happen anymore. Talk about that. How did that happen? What was that like? What were the challenges you faced? And what was it that kept you in one place? Because I'm going to guess you had some options after some of your contracts expired to go somewhere
Yes.
else. You say, I'm not doing that.
The 9 years I had here, like I said, we came in as a free agent. I had a kid drafted in front of me from Ohio State, Matt Wilhelm, one of my close friends. That I knew I had to beat out once I got here as a rookie, and I did. Once I got into the NFL, I was never on practice squad. I was always active. I was always out there on special teams. I was never was a guy in street clothes. I was always suited up. I earned my stripes early on to where I had to learn from the Donnie Edwards. I had to learn from the Randall Godfreys at linebacker. And by doing so, my coaches got to see it in practice on how I went out there. I led, I communicated, I made plays. And like I told you before earlier on in the interview, when Randall Godfrey split open his forehead and he got hurt, that's when I knew I had my opportunity. When I had my opportunity, I seized it. But in my mind, during that 9 years, I knew any single time I got hurt, I had to play through it because the guy behind me was me. They
Yeah.
want to take my spot.
Yeah.
So no matter what, I was never comfortable till probably like 8 and 9 to where I shouldn't have been. But I was never comfortable. I never gave anybody a chance to get on the field by the way I played, the way I studied. Once I got that position, and I think it was 2006, all the way up until 2011 was when I was a starter. I was a captain of the defense, captain of the team. With guys like Phillip and LT. Um, so where within that 9 years, whether it was contract talks or changing of coaches, position coaches, I really loved San Diego. I loved the fan base. Um, Marty at the time for the first 3 years, I loved him. I was one of Marty's guys. And then when North came in, North gave me a lot of responsibility as a leader. Like, all right, what do you want to do when we get to Miami? What hours? When should we have team meetings? So they gave us a lot of responsibilities to where Marty ran the team when Marty was there. But when Norv came and he let us run the team as players, he was like, "You guys are young men. You guys can let me know what you guys want to do, how you guys feel. I just need
Hmm.
you guys playing at a high level on Sundays."
Now, is that unique and different to have a coach come in and say that? Hey, listen, you let you guys take control of this.
We just used to Marty that hard nosed old school stuff to where I know everybody's different. Every coach is different. Players are different. We're going to interact differently. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a surprise. It was just something that we had to adapt to.
Yeah. All right. So how about injuries? Any major injuries?
Well, I'm not gonna say end of my career, but I tore my bicep my last year, at the age of 33. So as you get older, you're going against the salary cap, all that stuff. So my torn bicep was the only surgery I had my whole life. I've been playing linebacker since the age of 7. I've had my concussions, messed up both my MCLs where I had to wear Don Joys. Towards the end of my career, I had to wear a Don Joy arm brace. But injury wise, like I said, in my 9 years, I missed 2 practices.
That's incredible.
I'm telling you, I love the game. I love being out there. I never wanted to be on the sidelines. I
Yeah.
never wanted to be on the sidelines. I had to be out there in the battle no matter what.
So how do you feel today? You said you mentioned it a couple of times. You're 46. To me, I'd pay to be
Yes.
46, but you're 46 years old. How are you feeling? How's your neck, your shoulders, your knees, your ankles? Everything's good?
Um, Some days are better than others. My knees bother me from time to time because I had third degree MCL sprains on both my elbows. Both my elbows bother me. You know, all that punching, like getting blockers off you, and then
Yeah.
hyperextending both elbows while I play on tackles. That still bothers me. My shoulder, this shoulder here from the Chargers, it was ironic. Qualcomm rookie year ran down on a kickoff. You know how it was back in the day with the wedge. You had the two big
Oh yeah.
tackles. So I had to run through them. I messed up my shoulder. Long story short, they put me in the hallway, took my shoulder pads off, shot me up with lidocaine, put my shoulder pads on, get back out there. And when that happened, I can't sleep. I haven't slept on my right side probably since 2007 because of
Mm.
the pain that it causes with the tension going up to my neck. So a lot of the nerve is, I don't know if it's nerve damage, but it's nerves for sure. We're giving me migraines from time to time. But I knew what I signed up for.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't cry
Yeah.
about it.
No bulging discs in the neck or anything like that?
No, sir. No,
That's good.
sir.
Thank you. You're lucky for that one. How about concussions? How many of them do you have? Can't.
That was just natural. I feel like I got a concussion every game.
Yeah, yeah. And the way they look at it today is a lot more uh I think they're more focused on worrying about that today.
Well, why? Because everybody's suing the NFL for the
Right.
concussion settlement. So that's the only reason why they're doing their due diligence and
Yeah.
showing that they're putting in a little bit more time so they don't get sued.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they did it. If the concussion lawsuit never came about, who knows where the game of football would have been and then injuries would have been. So at the end of the day, it's all about money, just like the transfer portal and everything else.
Yeah, it's all money. It's all about money. So
Yes, sir.
so what advice, Coop, would you give to a young man coming out of high school, going into the college ranks of playing football? And then what advice would you give a college kid about going into the NFL playing football?
High school kid going to college, he has to understand the word sacrifice. You're going to see the girls. You're going to hear about the parties, clubs in the area. If you're really trying to be a top tier college athlete, you got to put in the time. And whether it's staying away from the drinking um, in college or whatever it is, so you can preserve your body and you can get the most out of it with the workouts in the morning and then the workouts in the afternoon. Um, and then buy into the weight room and buy into the off-season program. Don't skip workouts. Make sure you're giving everything you got every single workout. If you're not first, as long as you can look in the mirror after the workout and say, I gave it everything I got, then that should be enough. But you can never, ever, ever go into a situation where you think you got it made. Coming from high school, you might be the all-state player, the Gatorade player of the year. But once you get to the college level, you got guys 3, 4, 5 years older than you.
Yeah.
Where, okay, now are you ready to go with this physicality? You're not playing against 18, 17, 16-year-olds no more. So that separation there. And then for a college kid going to the pros, um, one, understand financial literacy, saving
Mm,
money, and then at the same time, recovery, taking care of your body because you're going to beat up so much.
right. Yeah, the financial side, I can't imagine what it's got to be like to be 22, 23, and have that much money thrown at you. Like they're all gonna be
Honestly,
stupid with it and have a good time.
Jeff, when you can do the thing is this, when you come from in a situation where you ask your mom for $5, you can't even get $5. I want these sneakers. And now you can anything you look at, you can get, whether it's a car, jewelry, outfit you see on a mannequin, the upper echelon food restaurants you want to go to. You can do all that stuff now. And the problem is, they'll tell you no. They tell you yes, 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 because whether they're going to scam you, whether they want something from you, or they're going to give you something to get something returned in the back end. As a young adult, you have no idea what's going on. You're coming from college. Most kids in college are scrapping up change to get food anyways, because majority of the football players don't have jobs.
Right,
So when you finally get to some money, it's like, wow, I can do whatever I want now. And it's just the decision making has to be positive instead of negative.
right. Now, are there a lot of guys out there that are helping the young men in the NFL around that? Or are there guys out there trying to take
I
advantage
know
of the young men?
I know for the Chargers organization, they used to bring somebody in every Monday for the rookies, whether it was bankers, accountants. But you got to like, and I'm just telling you from my perspective, You've been at practice all day long. It's I got there at 6 o'clock, and now at 5:30, asked me to sit in a room and listen to somebody I don't want to listen to that's trying to tell me what to do with my money. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That was just my mindset. And was it wrong? Yes, but there are teams that do give you some help with financial, but do you as an individual buy in? Are you paying attention? Are you asking questions? The pros and cons of what could happen, what can happen. Then you have one of my teammates, God rest his soul, Terrence Keel. He had a private accountant, family friend. And we know, like I was with Merrill Lynch. You take my money, it's insured. You work with this guy, a private accountant. Once your money's gone, it's gone. So
Right.
I've seen both ends of it. I've heard stories about it, but my close friend it really happened to where it was well over $1 million
Mm.
that he got taken advantage of.
That's what a shame, you know.
Yeah, it's part of that. It's part of that process. It's why hopefully a lot of these families and these schools and or programs are trying to help individuals make the right decisions.
Yeah. Yep. So what's going on now for you? Game's over. You know, you're
Yes, sir.
you're raising your family, coaching your son. What's going on in your life?
I'm just coaching high school football here at San Diego High School. We run a gym here in North Park, San Diego called F45. It's circuit training, interval training, and functional training all in one. We've been doing that since 2018. Um, my gym at the time when we first opened, we were top five in the world, and then we were top five for 3 years. Got over 300 members at my studio. Generate a nice amount of revenue monthly to where we're still at the top tier here in California and in the country. So just trying to keep that consistent in the training world. And then once the afternoon comes, that's where I turn into the high school coach. And then on days like this, I'm a youth football president. So I run a youth football league also called the San Diego Bolts. To where a couple of my teams are playing right now for the last regular season game down the street. Where I'm going to go over there after I get done with this interview.
Cool. So you're busy.
I have to stay busy. My mind's always going. If I'm not busy, I'm in my own mind. So I got to be doing something nonstop and just keeping my mind stimulated.
Yep. Well, you got to keep going, right? So looking back, I mean, you're only 46. You know, you got a long way to go, you know. But looking back, how do you want the University of Maine athletic world alumni, NFL athletic world alumni, when they hear the name Stephen Cooper, how do you want to be remembered?
A great teammate, a great teammate. I want them to know no matter what it was, special teams, offense, defense, practice, weight room, I was always there for them. I was there to encourage, support, have their back on and off the field. That was the main thing for me, for sure.
That is so important.
Yeah, honestly, like just it, it gets me emotional a little bit when I talk about it. Just seeing my teammates this past year, just like the David Casanos, the Freddie Blanzos, seeing those guys and just you can feel it. You feel it when you see it. Like it doesn't matter if it's 20 years, 10 years. When you get the opportunity to be around those men, it goes a long way.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just appreciate the guys and I appreciate the time we had, the conversations that we had. It meant a lot to me during that time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's the hugs, right? You can't like
Hugs,
those hugs, like you can't let them go.
you can feel it. You
Yeah,
you feel the energy, you feel the passion, you feel that vacancy that hasn't been there since college. Like
yeah,
the guys that will call you on Friday, hey, we got to get up. The guys that are knocking on your dorm door trying
yeah,
to get you up because you had a crazy night the night before.
yeah.
Those things go a long way. Just Coach Wallow can tell you there was a time when we got in trouble and they had us running for 2 hours, two
Yeah.
hours because of a little party that we all went to. But yeah, it was a bad decision. But other kids talking about it now as adults,
Oh
we
yeah.
laugh. It's just it's some of the best memories of my life. I promise you, the best memories of my life were at the University of Maine for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know what? That school, that university, that program was lucky to have a young man like you to make that decision because you could have gone in all kind of other different directions, different teams and different places, but you chose to go up there and you made history. You know, you literally changed the history books up there.
Yeah, we had some great guys, great coaches. It was about everybody did their job, put Maine on the map nationally. That was our goal collectively. And we had some great battles. great battles. That was just, it was just fun. It was fun. We had a great time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, they're lucky to have you. So, Coop, I've asked you a ton of questions. We've been
Yes,
rolling
sir.
here now. Looking at my clock, we're going over an hour, right? Is there anything I haven't touched on or asked you that you think we should cover before we wrap it up?
Um, no, but one thing I want to say is I truly, truly appreciate this opportunity to talk about the University of Maine. People think that being up there in that little small community in a small university, that you're forgotten about. At the end of the day, for any athlete, whether you're high school, making a decision, Maine is a great school, right? First and foremost. And then the coaches that come through there, they know they have to put in the time in order to be successful. And that's what Coach Stevens is doing and the rest of his staff. And if you are an individual that goes to a place like University of Maine, you're going to learn toughness, mental toughness, physical toughness, dealing with the weather climate, dealing with people cheering against you, people cheering for you, faculty members on campus being very supportive, the academic advisors. When I was there, Walter Abbott was a great advocate for all the football players because he was such a big name. Um, and then just overall, just anybody playing the game of football, love it.
Yeah.
Don't go out there and play. You got guys like me that want to rip your head off. You better make sure you take it seriously because at the end of the day, it's you versus him, and somebody got to prevail. But you get another day no matter what.
And you will rip their head off.
Oh, that's always that's JoJo instilled that in me. Trust me. I had some great leaders.
Well, Coop, listen, man, thanks for hopping on. I know it's a 3 hour time difference. You're out there in sunny San Diego. I appreciate you taking the time, talking about your history, the impact you've made on the college world up in Maine, as well as the NFL. And you're a young man. You got so many years in front of you to do some really cool stuff. And I'm excited to see what's the next level for your son,
Yes,
and
sir.
you stay in touch with that. And maybe we'll get him on here too and talk about that process of what it's like to be a high school kid to get recruited and get to that next level in today's world, because it's totally different from when I was doing it. It's probably a little different when you were doing it, but it's a
Yes.
lot different now, you know?
No, 100%. If you ever want to do it, just let me know, brother.
Yeah. So thanks for being on, and can't wait to see what's next. And I always tell everybody, stay strong.
100%. Stay strong.